Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Schmidt Lavelle. My name is Tom Lavelle, and as always, I'm accompanied by Mr. Timothy Schmidt.
Hello.
What are you eating there, buddy?
Um, is it coming through during
No,
the
no, I
mic
can't see
here?
it, but I can see you.
A little sourdough pretzels.
Ooh, pretzels, the underrated snack. I just crushed a
Ooh.
bag of Doritos. Timmy, real quick, Cool Ranch or Nacho Cheese guy? Who you got?
Ooh. Dude, it's another one of these things where I just used to go through waves. Love the nacho cheese. But like I always loved the break from nacho cheese over to Cool Ranch. I will say, never liked the spicy nacho cheese or anything like that. You know what I was a big fan of though?
What?
That came back for a little bit were the 3D Doritos.
I liked those too. Yeah.
Love the 3D Doritos, dude.
3D.
They were slamming.
They ever make a 4D Dorito?
That's tough to do, Tom. Don't
You
think
know,
don't think they have the technology there for that
have you
one.
ever been to a movie in 4D?
Of course, 4 dimensions. It's complicated there.
I'm serious. Have you?
I don't
Like,
think so, Tom.
so a couple of years ago, I bought tickets to I think it was a new Spider-Man movie,
No.
and they offered it in 4D. So in my mind, I think, oh man, 4D. I mean, it's got to be better than 3D. There's an extra D there. The more D's, the better. Am I right, Tim?
That's not what my parents told me in school.
So we get to the movie, and I don't smoke weed too often, but before a Marvel movie, I thought, what a perfect time. My buddy had some, I smoked, I had my beers that I brought in. We sit down, we get nice and comfortable, and the movie's about to start. Here starts the movie. All of a sudden, my chair starts moving all around. There's mist coming, there's wind. I'm getting like little shots to my like punches to the back and to the side, like the whole thing. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Apparently, the 4D, the fourth D, is like the seat moving around and kind of giving you that
Mm.
like you're in the movie experience.
I've
Almost made me
experienced
nauseous.
I experienced that down in Disney, and I know we're gonna get to Disney at
Yeah,
some point, but
we will.
there was an alien like type movie ride in Disney, and it wasn't in Universal Studios, but it was in Disney. I think it was in Epcot, where similar experience. They had the screen up, and like you were strapped into this like weird type of like. I mean, it was definitely like I don't know, some sort of cart, right? Like
Okay.
this in a
Yeah.
seat, and then like you got the like the wind and like weird like wet like effects, like there's an alien like breathing on your neck. It was like kind of weird, and like it
Yeah,
was
right.
I get what you're saying. I've been there, I experienced that. Never in a movie theater though.
Yeah, well, imagine the feeling when you don't know that it's coming and you're I
Yeah.
guess smoked a little bit of the reefer, as they say.
Mm. the
So
devil's the devil's lettuce,
the
if you
devil's
will.
lettuce, yes. They were smoking marijuana cigarettes. So as we said before, welcome to another episode of Schmidt and Lavelle. We appreciate you listening. As always, if you like what we're doing, please give us a subscribe, a follow. Tell your friends, tell your family about Schmidt and Lavelle, the most entertaining podcast you've listened to in the last couple minutes, I'd imagine, right?
Has to be. I mean, you can't possibly be listening to two podcasts at the same time, right?
Yeah. What are you, some sort of psycho listening to two podcasts? If you're listening to two podcasts at the same time right now, you turn that other one off and you give
or
us your full
or
attention.
turn us off because we don't want psychos listening to our
Yeah,
podcast.
that's right. That's right. Tell them, Timmy. But we'll take a psycho listening to our podcast, whatever. But we hope you're psycho about the show. Uh-oh, hold on. Interruption.
Here we
Calm
go.
down. Here we go.
Here we go.
What?
You know what? Why,
Oh, this is going to lead into our next topic, dude. This is perfect.
we
I'm just
should bring
getting an
her. We
update.
should bring her on the show because, like, yeah,
I'm
listen. Jason Kelsey just had the huge success episode with like his wife. Maybe you bring her on the show.
first guest.
Could be.
Now, Tim, whoa. Tim,
She's flashing.
she just flashed me. Tim, we're going to take a short break. I'll be right back. Tim, I'm being told to edit that out. Nicole, this show is live. We've got dozens of people listening. Tim, this is what I want to bring to my next subject. And I know we were trying to get everyone to follow and subscribe and doing our whole intro going into this. And we're going to get to some comments, but now that we've been, updated.
I'll tell you, we're gonna get a whole lot more subscribers after this episode.
Yeah. So apparently there are helicopters flying around the house, Timmy, and I wanted to talk to you about there's a guy that escaped from jail and is on the run.
Ooh.
And the thing about that is he's escaped, he's shaved, he has a car, he has a gun, I've heard, and he's on the loose. We don't know where he is. And I would say my wife thinks there's like a 60% chance that he's coming to our house and going to break in. The doors need to be locked and we need to be ready. Guns loaded.
Podcast shut down.
Podcast shut down. Am I the crazy one for maybe not taking extra precaution, or is she being a little bit
I think she's trying to seduce you a little bit.
Can't blame her.
I mean, with that,
you got it, Timmy.
With that overbite and that hat, oh my God. How can any woman resist?
How could you resist? Flip the lid. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, the voice, you got it all.
Oh, the show, ever since this show, it really gets her hot and heavy. So, Timmy, let's get to some of the comments from what's that?
I heard you were strutting yourself around some events this weekend. I heard you were getting requests for autographs and things of that nature.
Oh yeah. There was some things. I got some shout outs, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's get to the comments first before we get into our weekend.
Getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah.
We are. We another successful week in Schmidt and Lavelle, and more views this week than the week before and the week before that. So we've gotten our most views each week for the last 3 weeks, and we appreciate you listening. And some comments from our videos, our short videos that we put out. One of the comments from Stiff, he says, "When people call you racist, Tom, don't just double down and say you're a gay Trump supporter." So I said, is this kind of like you just throw everything at him? Should I say, that's right, I'm a racist and I'm gay. Make America great again. Build that wall. I'm with her. What do you think? And he said, exactly. Just throw him the curveball. Whatever you want. If they're doing it, just keep, going at him.
Just throw the whole kitchen sink at him and see what happens. See what sticks.
So next time, all you listeners out there that may be being accused of being racist, just make it even crazier. Go with it.
Yeah, take it to a whole new level.
Yeah. Embrace it.
Well, maybe not do that.
Yeah, well, don't. Yeah. Just go with it. It's your time to ad lib. Stiff. We appreciate the comment. We also want to give a shout out to that Eagles kid and Zach_Smith for leaving an attababe in the comments. We asked you if you're listening to leave us an attababe in the comments, and they did. And if you're listening right now, why not give us an attababe? Throw us an attababe in the comments. If you're listening, little attababe in there. All right. Now we want to go to a comment from your sister. I was expecting some more soap puns from our episode. Timmy, I thought we did pretty well with the soap puns. I said that was a soap opera, and then we thought that was a dud, and you said no, it was a sud. And then dare I say you cleaned it up with saying he gets on his soapbox.
I did
pretty well.
Yeah. Well, then you got on your ivory tower.
And let's just say we were dialed in. So
go ahead and pull that lever 2000.
I'm running out of soap. I don't know what else. What other soaps are there?
Huh?
You say that was such an Irish Spring. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. Uh, you know, my favorite time of year is Christmas, and usually that represents two animals that I love, and those are usually two turtle doves.
Timmy, dare I say that one was head and shoulders above the rest?
Yes.
Shampoo, that was a cheat, I guess. All right,
Yeah,
we'll move on from the soap puns. Thank you for your comments out there. We appreciate you listening and interacting with us. Help us grow the show. We love you, and hopefully you like what we keep on doing.
yeah.
All right.
We'll move on from the Old Spice, you know?
That's it. No more. No more soap puns, and I mean it.
Uh,
Timmy, big weekend this past weekend, and as you alluded to earlier, I was out and about at a fundraiser, and there was a Bago tournament, and lo and behold, was I getting oh my! I could hear the whispers when I walked in the room. Is that is that Tom Lavelle from Schmidt and Lavelle? Oh my God, it must be. And hey, I'm just a normal guy, just like everyone else.
yeah,
Yes, do we have a fantastic show? Sure. Do we have tons of people that love it? Yes. But we're just regular guys doing a regular show for regular people, right?
that's it. That's all we do, Tom. And yeah, when we're amongst the people, we just want to fit in. You know, that's it.
That's all.
We want to be part of the audience, like they are part of our show, Tom.
Right. And we'd appreciate it if you kind of we love that you recognize us, but still let us, we'll enjoy let us finish our meal first. You know what I mean? Like before you come up to us. The little things, not in the bathroom, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can you please refrain from continuing to give Tom dental references and like it's a little ridiculous at this point. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I was wondering why they handed me that card, but now it makes sense. And I thought, is Doc Bresler's even still a thing? But whatever. What are you gonna do?
Glad to have him on board as a
That's a sponsor.
sponsor.
All right, Timmy. But we did have a
Cavity
big
bust.
weekend. Cavity Busters. We did have a big weekend. We both got to enjoy our children and them and their soccer careers just blossoming
Mm.
on what was a beautiful day. Timmy, how was the soccer game that you got to attend?
Look, soccer at this stage in life for my kids is great. It's fun. Now I will say that both my daughters are really like progressing well with the game. They've made significant strides since I think I've talked about this before on the podcast where yeah, the very first time my daughters were playing soccer, both of them were the greatest bottle flippers on the sideline. All they did was sit on the bench and flip bottles, and that was it. And they've made a lot of progress over the course of the last couple of years to the point now where it's really entertaining watching them play. The issue I have is more with the fact that these games, and I get that the soccer fields are like usually in complexes that have no just forgiving like shade or anything like that. It's like, oh my God, like it's in the middle of the in the beginning of the fall, which is usually still the end of the summer. It's 95 degrees. The kids are running around. The parents have no protection whatsoever except for umbrellas if they bring them, right? They got to
Right.
hide under like tree branches. It's just so hot and just ridiculous, dude. And I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I don't, maybe I'm spoiled. I, my parents, I guess, did it for forever when they were growing up, but well, when we were growing up, because I played every sport in the book. But I mean, I remember where I played, which was at Dago Louis, Bachelor Field. which was on Ridge Avenue, they had this giant pavilion where like parents could just retreat and sit underneath.
Right.
Like there was a spot where like the parents could just go, even if like it was a halftime deal, like you could just retreat and get away from the sun and just chill and whatever, get some water. It was just it's brutal, man. I sat there for an hour and 10 minutes watching my kids play, and I could not stop sweating.
Yeah. Timmy, you know what? I'm going to give you, you can be the hero moving forward. Now, I don't know how many of these hot days we have available, but I'm going to say, you know, those like, they have like a quick foldable tent. You know what I mean? Those like pop up ones that can give you a decent amount of shade. I feel like if you got like just a fair one of those, a quick boom, you pull out, open it up, you could be a hero to several parents out there, you know. Now the time it might be getting into cooler weather and maybe we'll be, you know, out of the sun at this point on. But if you would have shown up and had that tent open, boom on the sideline, I think that could be a real hero move for you.
Yeah, but how many parents am I fitting under there?
Well,
Plus, I got like there's a lot of stuff that goes on there, Tom, too. Like, I mean, there's other things that are kind of coming into play here. Like, I'm the divorced dad, right? I'm the dad that doesn't live close by. I throw that thing up. I think I might be the only one standing under that thing.
well, you offer it for the kids then. And so then they can get under there at halftime or something like that, cool off after a game. The coach can talk to the kids after the game, you know, and it's for the kids. You know what I mean?
It's got to be for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you offer it, hey, this is here to keep the kids cool. It's 100 degrees. You know, I'm trying to help these kids out. I think you might
It,
have a move there. And who
it,
cares if
it,
you're the only one under the tent and it's 100 degrees?
yeah. I got plenty of shade here.
Yeah.
I'm good. But no, it just gets it's so damn hot. And I remember this from coaching last year, like football and obviously soccer for the last 3 years. It's just like, dude, it's unforgiving. Like you can't get away from the sun. Like you got to hope for a giant cloud to like come by and take up that sun for a good
Yeah.
like 8 to 10 minutes, and you get like a little bit of a respite from the sun. But you can catch a nice burn out there, dude, if you're not careful.
Oh, especially Saturday. What not only was it hot, it was humid as hell. And the kids were, you know, I had 5-year old kids running around and they're sweating. And like I was like, man, this is pretty hot out here for them to be playing. But we made it work. You know, when I was playing as a kid and it would be those really hot days, I never really thought about how shitty that was for my parents. I guess until I had kids, you know, I always just was worried about the game, and then they seemed to always had stuff to like keep us cool. Like the one guy had like a spray thing, and he would spray us down, you know, and at when you came off the field or something, or
That's not a
what.
bad deal.
Yeah, that was cool because then it became fun, you know. It'd be 100 degrees. It was like a mister or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
My dude, these we first game of the year was this Saturday, and we got to have the same referee, the same soccer referee who legitimately now we've now graduated from there's only 6 kids on the team, like on the field at the same time, soccer. Now it's to 7, I think, or there
right.
might even be 8. But the field's bigger. But this referee, he's by himself, and all he does is stand in the middle of the field and barely moves. I mean, the guy barely puts any effort into like the whole refing. And I get it. I know he's a big guy. I know he's volunteering almost. I know he gets probably paid like $30 a game. But dude, come on, man. You gotta put some effort into it a little bit. Just give me something. Like, don't just walk around. He looks like Eeyore out there from freaking Winnie the Pooh, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, get on your horse a little bit, you know?
How's his call? Like, is he calling it fair or is it just like he missed stuff?
No, he calls it from the center of the field.
Yeah.
Like out of bounds, he just kind of guesses. I mean, it's pretty easy to see, but like, you know,
Yeah. Tough
put
one.
some effort in it. Put
A
some effort
little
in
effort. Just give us a little jog, buddy. A little bit of a jog. He'd be under that 10 if you had it set up.
Probably.
All right, Timmy. So we had the big soccer weekend. Like I mentioned before, I went to a Bago tournament. And obviously got a ton of shout outs from people there loving the show. You had to go up to where were you at, Timmy? The mountains or something? Like how far of a ride were you?
Dude, it was like 3.5 hours away. So here's the thing. One of my good friends from college, his name's Andy. Um, he's getting married. It's his second marriage, right? It's public knowledge. I'm not breaking any news here. All right.
Oh, so this is his second bachelor party.
Correct. Uh
Ah, really? I'm gonna have to ask you some questions about that, but go ahead.
so it was in the middle of pretty much nowhere. A buddy of mine set it up, and I mean, when I say in the middle of nowhere, Tom, I mean I drove to this place, so it was three and change away, up by where I went to college, which was like home in college, and it was probably a good like 35 minutes away from there, and it was like on a farm. So it was an Airbnb on a farm. So we legitimately there was a barn with a cow, and there was like plenty of it. I felt like there was, how like you go to an Airbnb down the shore and they have like trash instructions.
Yeah.
I expected there to be like cow instructions, like
Yeah.
go out at 4:30 in the morning and go
Plow the
ahead and
fields.
start milking the cow. like wait, it's like what the fuck is
You
going
should have
on?
milked the cow. Oh, that would
Uh,
have been amazing.
like you're gonna need two buckets because Bessie, she can really go. Like it was so wild. But this is like
Was
these
it
are
a
my
nice house? I mean, a farmhouse like you rented. It seems like it'd be pretty nice.
no, it was a decent sized house. Enough for 15 people. Uh, but it's again, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's not like anything around here where like they rip it down, build it up, and it's almost like a rancher that like just keeps on getting extended and extended and extended. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
okay.
But it was a good time to see all your buddies from college, and they're getting married at the end of the month,
So wait,
and
when was his last? How long ago was his last marriage?
had to be 8-9 years ago, maybe.
8, 9 years ago, and he had a bachelor party then,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
big
was
big bachelor party. Yep.
that was a big bachelor party.
Yeah, that was a weekend stay up in the Poconos, solid weekend. Probably probably anywhere from 15 to 25 people up there for that one. That was a good one.
And okay, I guess my question is this, Tim: how many bachelor parties are you allowed to have?
I I mean, look, I brought that up like, and look, this I'm hoping that this is this is the last one, right? Like you hope that this is going to be the last one.
Yeah.
Um, Look, I've been through it myself, but you never know. But I don't know. I don't know how it works. And if you're just talking in generalities, like you would expect that, like you probably only get one, Tom.
Yeah, I would say one. I mean, as a friend, you're only obligated to go to one, I would say. Now, the Poconos isn't too much of a stretch for people to go to, and I guess it's not like he's going to Vegas a couple times, you know what
Right,
I
right,
mean?
right. Yeah.
That would be a bit much, you
And I
know.
think I think that's the big thing here is that you go like if you're doing something local and it's nothing like too crazy, I think yeah, we can you can squeeze this like look, if you're a half a dozen marriages in, I mean, I'll go up the Poconos every single time and have a party. Let's go, dude,
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't take much for me to want to be involved in a party.
but I mean if you're trying to like get the boys together and head to friggin' Vegas, or let's go down to Texas for a huge football weekend. And
Yeah, right.
yeah, it's probably only one time for me, but
One and
yeah,
done.
that's kind of how it works. But uh yeah, but the setup was awesome. Cool setup. Just a bunch of guys sitting around a farmhouse and drink some drinking some beers, and just enjoying each other's company. And yeah, it was fun. But like the thing is, Tom, like when you get together with your friends from college who are all football players, and
Oh boy.
and yeah, the testosterone gets going. you
Yeah,
have
right.
you have no you have no real like Wi-Fi because it sucks, and your phones are all like SOS, and like you can't really figure something out. Like the beer start flowing, and then
Oh god. Next thing you know,
someone
you're doing monkey drills.
someone issues a challenge, and then
Oh
all of a
boy.
sudden it turns into Oklahoma drills in the
Yeah,
middle of
Oklahoma. That's the drill.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which kind of
Uh-oh.
yeah. Uh,
Ah!
yeah,
Ah!
yeah.
I guess you guys
So
weren't wearing the helmets.
no, helmets were
Or
helmets.
rugby style
They didn't provide the
bachelor party.
equipment for us this year, so that was yeah,
Oh,
me.
oh
Yeah.
man.
Wow, man. So you just sometimes you just take it too far. And I tell you what, Tom, at the age of 41, you probably shouldn't do that anymore because you don't really move the same way you did when you were 22.
Oh man, especially not the next day.
And the problem is with one of my best friends, his name's Brian. Every time we see each other, we do the same thing over and over again. We promise each other we'll never wrestle, and we always see each other and we always wrestle because it's just like it's like the feats of strength.
Yeah.
Like we see each other and he's like, "All right, you ready?" And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go again." At
Did you
one
get any
point,
woo chops in there? Or?
no flare chops. It's legit feats of strength. Uh just boys will be boys type shit, dude. And I don't know if you have friends that do that too. To say you have like, there's a handful of guys that like really do it, right? It's my friends from college are very physical. Like this is all the guys that I played football with, versus my friends from home who are more like, let's just chill and relax. And the other guys are just like, let's fucking go. And you're like, all right. And you can't back down. You can't ever back down, Tom.
Right.
You have to step up. So
Uh,
yeah, and that leads to something like this.
Yeah. Oh, that a babe. Well, so then the next morning, how are you feeling, bud?
Oh, yeah. I mean, major hangover. Stayed up till 3:30 in the morning. That was fun. Um, and then it was just like hangover city. But like, Tom, like the best part about being hungover and waking up on a Sunday during the football season is that you have a full slate of football sitting in front of you, and you can just lay on the couch,
Yep.
veg out, hydrate, kind of watch some football, get it in. And this is what my plan was for Sunday. Like I really had that like plan in place, Tom. And I had mentioned earlier that we were living, not living, but like we rented a place that was like in the middle of nowhere where the Wi-Fi was terrible. All the cell phones were on SOS. So like we get to the 1 o'clock games and we're figuring that like NFL Red Zone was going to be on. We'll be able to tune into the NFL Network and get that all dialed up. Yeah, that wasn't working.
Oh boy.
So we're like, all right, let's check on the local channels, 3, 6, 10, like Fox, right? They carry games, so we'll be able to catch one game. So the Steelers game was on, which was great. For
And
the
that was a
first,
Fox game, I believe,
yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
that was like for the first like 3 minutes of the game, and then it got to be a laugher, and they ended up winning like 30-7. And at this point, like I started like kind of getting worried, Tom, because I'm like, hey, what are we doing right now for the Eagles game? Like we got to make sure that the Eagles game's up and running. And again, we're 3.5 hours away from Philadelphia. Like this is like we're probably closer to Pittsburgh than we are like to probably to Philadelphia. And my friend suggests that like he's got it all squared away. Like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Like, oh, I got CBS, we're streaming, all this other shit. And I'm like, all right, great. All right, fine. So I go and take another like hour nap and I wake up like around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Game's about to start in 25 minutes. I get the word that like, oh, we got it all worked out. So I'm like pumped. I'm ready to go. It's like the first game of the year. I'm raring to go, dude. I can't wait to watch the Eagles. 4:25 comes on. We put it on channel 3 and it's blacked out.
Oh, oh no. And like, I
And
want to put this out, Timmy, before you keep going. You're not someone that watches the Eagles like a normal, basically human being watches the Eagles. You know what I mean? You're very dialed in, I would say, to watching the Eagles. Is that a correct assessment?
yeah,
Fanatical almost about it.
I'm a little nuts with the way I watch the game. I like to hear the commentary. I like to kind of dive into what exactly is going on. Like I like to kind of rewind the game during the game, fast forward it, check out plays. Like I like to see things um not as they happen. Like I see them as they happen, but like I like to rewind them and then just double check and make sure I see what I see. Like I just for playing football for all these years, Tom, it's hard to look at a game a little like differently, right? It's hard for me not to kind of observe these things.
Right.
And it was tough because everyone that was on the bachelor party was getting hammered, which is fine. I was feeling too hungover to drink, so I just stopped. And it was more of like a joke that the game wasn't on to them, and I was getting more fired up as like the minutes went on, as the like they couldn't figure out how to get the game on. I was getting more and more pissed, and I'm like getting fired up, and I'm getting like obviously I get text alerts about like who's scoring what, and like I'm seeing Darius Slay runs a touchdown back, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what's going on right now? Like, why is this going? Oh, dude, I was so fired up, and it's none of their fault, I guess. I should have expected. I should have honestly left early in the morning, but I didn't. So it kind of falls on me. But like after 20 minutes of not being able to get the game back, I was like, fuck this. I'm leaving. I left. They were surprised that I left, but they shouldn't have been because they probably knew how pissed off I was. And by the time I got 30 minutes, this is like the craziest thing to me, Tom. 30 minutes outside of where we were staying at. Yeah, obviously I tuned into the app on my phone and essentially streamed it through my Bluetooth on my radio and just listened to it the entire way home. Like
I enjoy
I
listening to a game, you know?
I just don't understand now how I could listen to it 25 minutes, 30 minutes away from where I actually was.
Right.
It makes no sense to me. And like we're in 2023. How the hell can you stream a game? How can't you stream a game to a high def television like with Wi-Fi and all this other stuff? It just it blew my mind. But I was able to catch the second half. I obviously saw the highlights and everything since then, but yeah, God, it was just a frustrating Sunday because like I was so looking forward to just relaxing on that Sunday and just sitting on the couch and just unwinding and having a good Sunday. You know what I mean, Tom?
Yeah, and not only that, the frustration of trying to get everything signed in and hooked up and like it's like, all right, this should work, and then you go try to do it and it doesn't work and you're like, what the hell is going on? I kind of recently had a similar experience with my printer. You know, we had set up the printer. I had to do all this shit to sign up for this printer. I had to
Oh, we talked
download
about
the
this.
app.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other day I go to use it and lo and behold, it's not working again. I have to reset up this thing all over again and go through the same thing. And I'm trying to sign in, and now the password you can't use the same password that this password's already been used. We need you to set it new. And I'm like, why do I need a password to print a piece of paper? If it's hooked up, you know what I mean? So
I
similar frustration.
I gotta say, I felt terrible for two of the guys because they did everything they could to get the game. And I think they each signed up for like Paramount Plus, and then like another one signed up for like the NFL Network and like streaming capabilities. I think they spent like a total of like $198 between the two of them
Oh
just to
my
get the
God.
game streamed. I think they can probably cancel it because they're like 1 week trials, but still, it was interesting how it didn't come through, how it didn't stream on that TV. It was kind of annoying to be honest with you, but hey, just gotta hit and roll, man. Gotta take the punches and roll with them.
All right. So the Eagles, obviously, they come out with a win. They're in Foxborough. They're playing against a Bill Belichick team. Now, it's not the old Patriots that was with Tom Brady, obviously, but still, you think Belichick's going to have his teams ready. You can say, I'd say he's the greatest NFL coach of all time. Some people might disagree. But, Timmy, a lot of things, I think this is a great way to start the season as far as there's been a lot of hype about the Philadelphia Eagles. We came out, we started hot. Obviously, some miscues. The fumble by Jalen Hurts like rings a bell, and they were struggling offensively with the new offensive coordinator. I thought our defense played pretty well. They were on the field a long time. Um, all in all, though, they get the win and have a lot to learn from, which I think is good for us. Like, hey, we pulled one out. Good teams
Mm.
find a way to win when they're playing poorly, and they have a lot to learn from. Is that where you're at with this right now, or
Yeah.
anything glaring that you're like red flag? This is not good.
Um, the biggest issue for me was the explosiveness from the offense was lacking. Um, and then DeAndre Swift just not touching the ball whatsoever. He's a high valued running back that you just acquired in the offseason, and I think he touched the ball twice, which is crazy because he's going to be one of your most explosive players out of the backfield. I was surprised how much they used Gainwell in terms of just rushing him. They gave him a lot of carries, but like just I think during the broadcast they mentioned that they only had like 2 plays of 20 plus yards or more, which is what they led the league in last year. They like to go down the field a lot, and they didn't include Goddard a lot in the game plan, which was kind of frustrating. I watched some of the film, and it looked like that he was running wide open a handful of times. Just Jalen Hurts missed him, and I think you can attribute a lot of that to rust and just not having repetitions with live bullets, um, and just not having a preseason. And that was addressed in the post game press conference by Nick Sirianni. He said like maybe I'll reevaluate it. I doubt that they'll play guys in the preseason. We just saw what happened with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you just never want to see someone get hurt, but I mean, I just don't know what the right answer is. I mean, we see it happen years before, like guys play through the preseason. There's four preseason games, and usually you see starters play, pretty much the last two to get themselves acclimated to the hitting, the speed of the game, all that stuff. And I just think you got to give it 2-3 weeks before you really have a good feel of what this team is. They just beat the Patriots basically with no repetition whatsoever. Um, I'm not concerned about it at all. Um, yeah, I was watching some tape from like Brian Baldinger. He does a lot of breakdowns. If you want to look at him, check out his stuff on Twitter. He's really good at breaking down film, but like defense secondary is pretty rough. Some of the play calls on the offense were pretty kind of vanilla. But other than that, I just think you get a win on the road, Tom Brady Day, in New
Yeah.
England, you got to walk away and say, "Damn, that's a pretty good win, man." And you know what? They should have won in convincing fashion, and they didn't close it down. Some crazy turnovers. Um, Jalen Hurts with just something that you don't really see that often. Now it's twice in 2 games with bad turnovers, but
I
you
was
know,
gonna say that
you
Super Bowl one and that one right there. Now he
you
only
get
had
away,
two fumbles all of last season.
yeah,
So,
but you get away with a win on the road. Now you come back on a short week against the Vikings, who lost to
Tampa
um,
Bay.
Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield. So I mean, I think it's a very winnable game. You got to show up and you got to contain Justin Jefferson and get back on a horse and get another dub.
Yep. And I agree with you, Timmy. I think at the end of the season, when we go back and we look at everything, and time will tell where we end up, but this could be a game that we circle to say, hey, that was a tough fought win. We found a way to win, and that just showed our team's ability to find the way to win, which they're going to have to do throughout the season. All right, so the Phillies, they found a way to win last night after losing the first game of a doubleheader. Huge series going on with the Braves. Currently, right now, they're going into the ninth inning, down a run, 6-5. Is that right, Timmy? Am I looking at that correct?
Yeah, Bryson Stott just homered at 6-5. We're going into the top of the ninth. It's getting tight.
Yep, and
It's
these games have all been pretty tight. Extra innings in the first game of the doubleheader. Last night, we win by 2. Tonight, a one-run game, and this is going to be a team we're going to see in the postseason if we make a run. And it's nice to see that we're hanging with them. I'd like to take the majority of well, I guess it's 4 games, right? And then we have another 3 with them. So I'd like to at
yeah.
least split this series with them, and it'd be nice to win it, just to kind of show them, hey, we got your number, but we can play with them. The bullpen seems to be a bit of the problem recently, Timmy. The bullpen, are they tired or what's going on with them?
I think it's a little bit of tiredness, being overworked. Um, they just have to pitch better, to be honest with you. A lot of guys were hurt throughout the year. Alvarado was hurt throughout the year. Sir Anthony Dominguez is hurt throughout the year. So they just haven't had as much work as they normally do. But like this is the time they need to start delivering. Like they need to figure out, we talked about this last time. They need to figure out what their roles are going to be heading into the playoffs, and they need to pitch better. And it's the bottom line. You can't keep on throwing out Matt Strom out there every single time, right? Like
Yeah,
you have to have guys that are going to be able to pitch those innings for you. High leverage guys that are going to be able to deliver. I think they're probably going to move like Lorenz into the bullpen. He just has been not great as a starter. We talked about that, I think, previously on the show too as well.
right.
But the bats are fine. The bats have been really delivering. I mean, it's just a matter of the bullpen holding the leads. And like honestly, today Zach Wheeler gave up 6 runs, and the bullpen has held the lead since the 6th inning. So it's been 6-1. They've given them a chance to come back. Bryce Harper hit a 2-run homer. Bryson Stott hit a 2-run homer. So they're within striking distance. Going into the ninth inning, it's that's what you need. Like the Braves aren't going to be. They're the best team in the league, easily.
Right.
It's just a tough matchup, man. They just have so much power. They hit home runs, and their pitching is really good. You just got to be able to get to them early and often. And if you don't, you got to be able to have the ability to climb back. And we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But the regular season, you still have to finish in that top wild card spot. You have the Cubs chasing you down. You have Diamondbacks right on them. It's going to be a tough run. Like there's 17, I think 17 or 18 games left in the season. Yeah, 3 more with the Braves, and I think the rest of the schedule is going to be pretty easy. But you don't want to get completely blown out by the Braves here.
Right. And and even in the game we lost yesterday and tonight, we're showing that fight that, hey, game's never over until the last out. So I like
Until
to
the
see
fat
that.
lady sings,
Until
Tom.
the fat lady sings. Timmy, I'm liking what I see from the Phillies, and I think they're gonna go far. All right, this is gonna bring me to our next topic. Something that we were talking about. You had a Sunday idea of what was gonna happen and where you were gonna go and what would be, I guess, a perfect day for you to have, Timmy. Timmy, what is your perfect day? If you could describe a perfect day.
Well, we're talking about a perfect in your mind, like what do you have? Like when you wake up in the morning, right? And you have like a full day that's completely clear, and you're able to just like put together Tom or Tim's perfect day. In my opinion, that would probably be 18 holes of golf in the morning. Okay.
Right.
Starting like probably around 8:30 a.m. Okay. You have a couple beers on the course, right? You get finished up, you have a nice lunch somewhere. If the Eagles play at 4 o'clock or 4:30, yeah, you get to go to a bar somewhere or even go home, go to a house, and you're able to watch Red Zone for the majority of the day, right? And you sit there, you have lunch, you have good food leading up to the Eagles game. And if you're a guy that likes to go out, you can go to a bar. Or if you're a guy that likes to go home and watch the game at home, you go home, you sit on your couch, you order a nice pizza or a nice whatever, wherever your takeout
Yeah.
is. Like, dude, I'm a wings guy. I get
Love it.
wings from the local place here that phenomenal wings. And you just veg out on the couch all day long, man. And it's legitimately the perfect day because you're not bothered by anybody. You're doing everything you want to do. And like I get you have kids and you have families and all that stuff, but like, dude, the perfect day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna get you that. Timmy, how about this? Let me paint a picture for you. All right.
I love this.
You get a nice sleep. The night before, somehow a nice sleep comes. You wake up, you're feeling good. Are you a coffee guy?
Nah, don't eat. I don't drink coffee now.
Well, you go downstairs, I grab a cup of coffee. We got a nice little breakfast set up. You have a little breakfast, you're feeling good, you're feeling loose, you get to the course, hit a couple balls, you go out and you play. You have a good time, get a couple beers in there.
Does it
After
matter the
that,
score? Does it matter the score? Would you
now
put up?
I was thinking 80 and lower. 80 and lower.
Oh, that's tough, dude. That's a hard round. That's a
Well, we're
hard fought
talking
round.
about the perfect day.
Well, I
You're
mean,
just feeling it. You're
that's
firing. You're
dude, that's a
throwing darts.
if you're under 80, you're having more than a perfect day. If I'm shooting in the 70s, I'm going somewhere for my for the Eagles game. I'm not sitting at home.
Well, so this is what I'm thinking, all right? You get done your round of golf, whatever score you want to say. You shoot a nice round. You have a great time. You have a couple beers. Hey, let's go to the clubhouse. You go in the clubhouse and the Phillies game is on. You sit there, you have a little bit of lunch. The Phils game, you watch that. They come back and win in dramatic fashion. What a great time, boys. I'm going to head home, get showered. We got the Eagles game tonight. To me, this is a perfect. You go home, showered, get a little nap in there. Take a little nap, right? Get your
Nah,
nap.
naps out, dude.
Oh,
Naps
I'm a
out.
nap guy. I love
No,
a nap. Nice nap. You're
you ruined it.
showered.
You ruined
No,
the perfect
this
day.
is my perfect day. Next thing you know, the boys come over. Game's going to be starting a little bit. You got the food delivered. You got your pizzas. You got your wings. You got your beers. You're sitting on the couch, sweatpants, comfortable, loving life.
Dude, the
Eagles
sweat
win.
the sweatpants is actually key. Like
Oh,
if it's at the temperature, if it's at sweatpants temperature, and that's what I prefer it to be, like, dude, give me like a 45-degree day,
oh.
like 45 to like 51, right? Like enough where like the sweatpants need to be on. Okay. Like I
Yeah.
don't need
Or
it
hoodie
doesn't
weather, whatever you want,
yeah,
a
yeah,
hoodie.
yeah. So you can sit there in your nice sweats, right? Your nice sweatshirt, you get all tuckered in,
Yeah.
you're all ready to
Ah,
go.
I'm
God,
loving it. Yes.
God, baby. You wake up in the morning, you smell that cold in the air. Oh,
Ah.
yeah. Let's go.
And the only thing that makes you move from that couch is like a big hit, and you like jump up and you get like a fight, and everyone's like, yeah, you grab a wing, eat it like an animal. I gotta take a piss. I'll be back.
I
You
don't know
know,
if I've ever aggressively ate a wing after a big hit, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get the
That's
visual.
big. You haven't lived until you've aggressively eaten a wing after a big hit.
Oh my God! You see,
Ah,
let's
ah,
all grab wings.
yeah. I'm talking like a big drumstick,
Yeah, yeah,
turkey leg,
yeah. Turducken. I
the
get you.
turducken. You just have the day. I mean, are we just describing Thanksgiving basically? I don't know what we're doing.
I mean, it is part of. I mean, it's a perfect day. I mean, you just sprinkle in a lot of family there, and some people don't like family with their perfect day.
Family optional on the perfect day.
Uh, uh,
All right, Timmy. What wasn't perfect is something that I saw over the weekend, and that would be the new Little Mermaid movie.
ooh,
Last Friday, we do movie nights here at the Lavelle household, and Friday nights are our movie nights. And we've gone through
ooh,
the gamut of movies. Is that a
ooh.
word, a gamut?
Yeah.
All right, nice. We went through the gamut of movies, a bunch of movies we've seen. Recently, we watched a great one, a classic, the original Ninja Turtles. Got my
Ooh.
kid on that. And so Friday night we are turning on a movie. We turn on the new Little Mermaid. Now this is
Mm.
the mermaid that is with humans. And Timmy, I love the Little Mermaid, the cartoon. I love all Disney movies pretty much. I will say these movies that they take the classic and they turn it into a human movie, and just Disney in general, I think has really fallen off. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like this is happening.
Mm.
When we were younger, there were only so many avenues for an actor or a singer or whoever to go and perform and show the world their stuff. You know what I mean? Even less when our parents were younger, but it got a little bit more. And maybe I say we were in the perfect storm. Like when we were watching movies, Aladdin, you had Robin Williams would be the guy in it. When you're watching The Lion Kings, James Earl Jones is Mufasa. You know what I mean? Like you had these all-time great actors portraying these movies. Toy Story, you get Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, right?
Yeah. Yep. Hmm.
Nowadays they're remaking these movies and there's so much stuff going on. There's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Apple TV, there's HBO, there's regular TV, there's the movies, there's this and that, and there's Disney Plus, and there's whatever. And I feel like the talent pool is so spread thin that they're casting people and yeah, sure they're talented, but they're not to the level of what it used to be. Am I crazy or is that just because there's a nostalgic feeling from when I'm younger?
Tom, what I think you're trying to say is that life is much better down where it's wetter under the sea.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Right.
Oh my
I,
gosh.
right. No. I agree. I agree. Here's the thing. Like they do a lot of the cartoons still really well. These live action films are just such a stretch, man. Like
Yeah.
they are a stretch. Um, and I don't sometimes I don't get it, right? Like, yeah, there's now like the Snow White one that they're trying to do, and there's a lot of controversy behind that, and like there's a lot of controversy about the Little Mermaid thing and all that stuff. But like it just it's hard to get out of their own way. Like it's hard to recreate something that was already great.
Yeah. What's the
And
controversy with Snow White?
the woman that I think the girl that's playing like Snow White is like an issue with like I don't know. There's
Is
like
there a controversy about everything? It's
yeah,
so exhausting. It's
there
like, what
is.
the hell? Like,
Yeah,
I didn't
like
care who played the Little Mermaid. I know, I guess that was a thing because I don't know, is she African American? Like, is that the problem? Like, I could care less who's playing the Little Mermaid. I just didn't think it was very good. You know what I mean? And I've
right,
seen
right,
a
right,
lot of movies.
right. No, the Snow White thing was like I don't even or it was a Sleeping Beauty. I don't know. It was something weird. But like the actress that's supposed to play her in the live action film, like had some comments, and then there was like a big controversy or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's like so stupid. Like, come
Yeah.
on, like let's move on from it. But yeah, like Disney's done so many good things over the past, 30, 40 years. And yeah, they're classic films that you just grow up on, right? And it's just they have the same meaning, the same messaging, and I mean, people like to read into them and they create their own fucking narratives about what are they trying to actually say, and it's just so stupid sometimes. But like, I think you're right here. I think you're spot on, Tom. Like, they need. I think it's just so watered down, right? Like they're just trying to recreate certain things, and Disney's gotten so big, right? Like with
Is it just a money
that,
grab? Because they
I don't
know
know.
people are going to
Well,
go with it.
I
They're
mean,
like, oh, it's a Little
no,
Mermaid. They're
because
remaking it. I got to watch it.
they're talking about because Disney owns Marvel now, and like Disney,
Oh, God.
yeah, they're talking. There's a lot of people that have been killing yeah, the content they've been putting out on Disney Plus with like all the Marvel stuff, like the last like 10 shows apparently that have come out from like Marvel have been like terrible, and it's just like, it's just so watered down, man. They're just putting out so much content where like as in years past, it's like, whatever they did was just really good, really above average, really like the gold standard, if you will. And
Yeah.
it's a shame that they're losing whatever it is they had um in terms of filmmaking and reaching an audience that really respected and really like was captivated by the stuff that they were putting out. And it's a shame that like that's where it's heading.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's just a little hiccup and they figured it out because, yeah, when we were growing up, it was like they just put out one banger after another. Every Disney movie, it's like, wow, this is great. This is great. This is great, and
Banger after banger after banger
banger.
after banger.
Kind of like Schmidt and Lavelle. You know what I mean? Just one episode after another, after another, after another.
Turner tied it up, baby.
Turner, home run?
Yeah, let's go.
Was that 26?
Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Folks, if you've been tuning in, Turner just tied it up in the bottom of the ninth. We got a 6-6 ball game. Wow. Let's go. How many outs?
um no outs.
Oh man, that means Harper's up next. Oh my God.
Booms up. This is outrageous.
Oh my gosh. If they pull this one out. All right. So, Timmy, this game's going on. We're gonna finish the end of this game. We're gonna sign off here though, but before we sign off, we want to say thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening. Please if you don't mind, share some of our stuff, tell your friends, let them know if you see a funny video that you like, just put it in your story or do something. I don't know. Like, follow, share, subscribe if you're still listening. Timmy, we want to throw out a little teaser for next week's episode. We got a big episode coming up, something that we had talked about. Do you want to let the people know where
We're
we're
look
at?
we're looking at some of the old look. We want to go retro here. We want to talk about the video games that changed us as kids. All right. And look, Tommy and I are right around the same age. We're 41, and Tom, you're 40.
40. Yep.
And we grew up with Nintendo. We grew up with Sega Genesis, some Atari stuff. And we want to go let's go top 5, top 10, maybe video games all time. Let's see, like,
We're gonna
and
go
you know what?
16-bit or lower, I believe, because I think a Sega is 16-bit.
Yeah.
And so Nintendo, I believe, was 8-bit. So we'll go 16-bit and lower. We're not going to go to the 64 or the PlayStation or anything like that. We're going to go old school 16-bit and lower.
And
So
we want your suggestions before the show next week. We want to know what you people think. That way we compile a list. If you want to influence us, then so be it. But
yeah,
I think we already have a pretty good idea of
I
what
mean,
our
they're already filtering through this brain of mine. The
and we
greatest
want to
retro video games of all time.
and we want to really kind of dig into that and see where people lie. Because yeah, look, if you're a sports guy, you'll love
Oh,
games like all right.
We'll let the rest be. We'll let you use your imagination on where we were going with that. But Timmy, another successful episode. We love everyone out there that's listening. We gave you the tease about next week's episode. We're going retro video games, the ones you love, the ones you need, the ones you care about. Anything you want to say to all the Schmidt Lavelleites before we sign off?
Hubba, hubba, hubba. Who do you trust? Who do you trust? Is it Tom? No, it's me.
God bless America, and you can trust us that we're going to be putting out great content weekly. Every Thursday, Schmidt Lavelle. We love you. Till next week. See you then.